Welcome to Earth Science with PV Online. If you're in Earth Science 1 or Earth Science 2, this will be a video that should cover pretty much everything you need to know. If you've taken the course before, you'll be pretty familiar with this. There are a few things that are different this year than before. This is an overview of the Earth Science course. You're not going to see this at the beginning. Why? Because this year, in order to see Unit 1, you have to finish the Getting Started, a new section that we've stuck into every course. Once you've finished the Getting Started homework assignment, then you can take the Getting Started quiz, but you can't take the Getting Started quiz until your communication point is done. You can't start Unit 1, which is essentially Chapter 1, until you've gotten the Getting Started done. You can't start Unit 2 until you've gotten Unit 1 done. So this is kind of cool this year. It encourages you to go in order. Now right now, we are really in this section right here. You're going to be watching a video that's in this spot that looks a little bit different. This is the one from last year. I just stuck it in here as a placeholder. Every chapter will start with objectives. Let's go to the objectives for this. Here are the objectives for this unit. Describe the daily work expectations. Describe how often your parents should view your work. Tell what must be done in order to take the final exam. Name the contact person. You can read all this. But every chapter, even this beginning chapter, has objectives. These are important because these are the things over which you will be tested. These are the things you should know, so I just tell you ahead of time. I think a good class will always tell you what you need to know because that's what you're going to be tested over. If we can't tell you what you're going to be tested over, we probably shouldn't be teaching you. So it's kind of neat to have the objectives up front. It's only fair. If I forget to include anything that should be in the objectives, feel free to write your teacher, me in this case. And if an objective was included but not covered on the quiz, and you feel so inclined, write me and say, hey, this was in the objectives, but you never really asked a question about it. Because I want to make these things as fair as possible. Now, let's talk about all these resources that we have at the very top. The glossary. You guys know the glossary as, well, a dictionary. This is simply a resource. I don't ask too many times simply to give me the definition of words. There are a few times in the chapter quizzes where you have to match things, but usually the chapter emphasizes thinking, evaluation, synthesis, and evaluation, other than just regurgitation. I think you'll like the class because it respects your mind and asks a lot of you. The second appendix, the Atlas, is a physiographic province map of the United States. The third one is a physical world map. When appropriate, these will be linked from within the study sheets or other assignments. The third Atlas item is the tectonic plate map. Then star maps, also called star charts, and there are several of them. Northern and Southern Hemisphere, and for each of the seasons. We won't really use this much because you guys are going to be making your own star chart out of paper and cardboard. It's easy. Your standard Harrisburg, Pennsylvania quadrangle map, although we have better quadrangle maps for the topographic map unit. And this will become important, especially in Earth Science 1. The reference tables, linked from right here, include all kinds of information, but the most important stuff for us, the topographic map symbols on page 697, the periodic table on the following two pages, and then the mineral tables. This is going to be really handy in chapters, I think, 4 and Chapter 6 for the igneous, sedimentary, and rock identification tables. And then, to be honest, there is a skills handbook in here, but you won't really need it much. You're welcome to look through it, but where needed, I will reference this. It's not a big deal. That's the syllabus, and we will be going over that later. Now, let's take a quick look at what a standard course is like. Again, all you're going to see when you sign is Getting Started. Here is a horrible video of me telling you all about my life. Sorry, but you have to watch it. Hopefully it's really short, and I apologize. And then here's your first assignment. When you do your assignments, here's what you do. You're going to copy this material. Copy. Sorry, you guys are used to doing that kind of thing. Copy. And then there's going to be a little place down here where you can work on your work. I can't do it because I'm not a student. You then paste these questions into your assignment field, and you will type underneath each question your answer. In most cases, you're supposed to write in full sentences, but in this case, you can just put your answer right over here. Let's see. Number 12 should be a full sentence answer, for example. Number 13, please write in full sentences. These you have to initial. When you're ready to submit, you guys will have a little submission button at the bottom. Again, I can't do that as a student. And simply submit it. This will show up in my to be graded file. It's kind of like a virtual in-basket, and I will grade it usually within 24 hours. Sadly, I don't have a life, and I spend all my time grading, so you lucked out. If the bell rings before you've finished with the assignment, this is important. In the top left corner of your assignment window, again, I can't show you that because I can't get to your window, put not done, the first two words, not done, capital letters. Why? If you don't put that, I will grade your assignment, and each assignment will be graded only once. So if you need to save your work and it's not done, try typing not done in the top left corner of your assignment. Once you're done with all your assignments, then the quiz will open up. You can't see the quiz now. The students can't, I can. It will be ghosted out because it won't be available until you get done with your communication point. That's what's kind of cool in this new system. Now, all the chapters kind of work this way. They all start with objectives, things you should know by the time you get to the end of the course, and in most cases, the objectives will open in a new window, which makes it kind of handy to have to the side. This won't be there when you get around to it. You will have a study sheet. Here's a typical study sheet. The study sheet is based on the chapter reading. Now, where's the textbook? I could put it out somewhere, but you know what? I just link it from within here. It makes a lot more sense to have it here than to have it anywhere else. So to make your life a little easier, I've done this. Now again, copy your questions. You don't have to copy the introduction, and paste them into your submission area. Most sections, chapter sections, will have between 3 and 5 sections. Did I say that right? Most chapters will have 3 to 5 sections. I could have broken the study sheets into smaller little assignments, but it seems to work better if we just leave them as one big assignment. It makes your studying for final exams easier just to go to one study sheet rather than little ones. Again, these blue sections are your links, and they will open up in new windows. If a question wasn't needed in a study sheet, I have left it out. I intentionally emphasized things that you needed to know, things that were related to the objectives. Now, questions in the typical classroom can be repetitive. What is a proton? But in this class, they will be more like, what are two differences between a proton and an electron? I hope you can see that this question is a lot more thoughtful than this one. I don't like this kind of thing. You get out of school and you don't know anything. This requires you to really, own the material in a way. You're going to be asked to think rather than repeat. Now, you can skip through these readings, but it's not going to work really well. You should take your time and go through these. Okay, admittedly, the introduction page in each of these really is just a pretty picture and tells you what you're going to see in each of the chapters. But this is where you need to take your time and read. Where the visualizations and the margins are important, I have linked to them. I can do this really. Like right here. Pay attention to the images because a lot of times I will be asking questions about the images. There are questions down here that you can ask yourselves, but again, these are pretty thoughtless questions. I tend to ask slightly more thoughtful ones. Sometimes the graphics may take a while to come up. I love this area. I have been up here. To be honest, these are really south of Utah, and these are in Arizona along the Vermilion Cliffs, I believe. But the authors of the book didn't know that. This is in Arizona. That's one of the things I like about Arizona too, or about earth science. There's so much Arizona in here, Monument Valley. On occasion, you'll be directed toward visualizations. I may have questions on the visualizations. If so, just go through the visualization, do what it says. Sometimes there will be pages. In this case, there are animations to go with it. Some of these are kind of cool. Here's an example of one with several pages. Now these are really simple visualizations, I'll grant you. Here is the third section of chapter 1, which I would call 1.3 or something like that. And I should tell you that a lot of times you're going to see these images. Sorry, jumping around here. You're going to see these images again. They may be part of the study sheet, and if they're part of the study sheet and they are part of the objectives, you can be pretty sure that you'll see them in a quiz. So look over the graphics really well. Come on, you can do this. Alrighty, don't need to go there. Let's go to chapter 4, for example. I want to show you a slightly better animation. Oh, you will have labs in here. Sorry, you start out with study sheets. Sometimes you will have videos. Sorry, ADD just kicked in. The video is always linked in blue, and it will open in a new page. Now, there are times you will not be able to use the Chromebooks. Sorry, but that's the way it goes. In order to be awarded lab credit for high school through ASU and all the Arizona universities, we have to include videos and labs that require things that the Chromebooks may not allow you to do. So just be aware that you will have to go to places like Video on Demand. Now, the directions tell you what to do. Go to Earth's Interior, Video Demand, and the directions tell you what to do, but I'm going to walk you through it. We're supposed to be watching Earth's Interior. Uh-oh. I've already opened it, so this is kind of bad. When you go here, when you go here, this is not going to come up right away. You're going to have to click on the little VOD icon by the word Earth's Interior, and you may have to click on it twice. Be patient, and you may have to click on it 3 times. The browser that works best is Safari, so be patient. By the way, each of these videos can be only 15 minutes long. There will be labs where they ask you to write in sentences. Please write in sentences. Sometimes you'll have to go to different websites. Just be aware, yeah, you really do have to go to websites in a web class. I had a student last year who was upset that I asked him to click on links in an online class. Oh well. The final exam won't be made available until you have finished everything in the chapter. Let's see if there's anything else I have to talk to you about. Off-campus students, submit your work hours. And one last thing, gradebook. Your gradebook is going to be over here on the left, and your grades will build up from 0 to 80%. What? Before you've turned anything in, you have 0%. If you get perfect on every assignment, you'll score 80% at the end. Why? Because the last thing you have to do, after the end of the course really, is your final exam, which is worth the final 20%. Well, that's it. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. Otherwise, move on to the next part of Getting Started lecture, objectives, syllabus, and resources.